If you've ever wanted to get a high level overview of your rates that you're charging and charging your customers and that you're paying your vendors, it might be difficult to do because you would have to go into each job and look at each product. But now we have what we call a rates report, and this will give you a lot of flexibility to examine your rates across the system. So let's give you a few examples. First, you can see here we just have the amount and the unit of measure. These are the two required columns. Of course, this doesn't tell you too much because we don't know what this amount is going towards. So let's start by adding a account name. We can also add this rate count so that you can see exactly how many rates or distributions are set up for this thing. And let's move this over here. We'll put this here. Okay, so just for example, in my system, I have 80 different examples of, or 80 different rates set for logging expense for tons, and my average rate for all those is $9.49. So that's pretty interesting. Okay, let's break this down a little further. Let's see what else we have here. We can see, okay, well, let's look at this group by job. Now we'll have the job name here. We can move this over if we want. And we can even do a subtotal. So let's subtotal by account name. So again, if we go back to that example of logging expenses, we can see that we have 7 set up at an average of $8.29 for this job. We have 2 at $12 for this job. 2 for an average of $25 on this job. Now you can break it down even further by adding, well, who is that rate for? So let's add the company. Let's go back to our logging expense section. And now we can see, if we go back to one of those jobs, the Delta job is broken up. I have, it appears, 3 different loggers on this job. These 2 loggers are getting this rate, and this logger has 2 rates at average of $15. Okay, let's start from a clean slate. Now, what if we want to see what all of our delivery rates are across the system? So first off, let's add a filter, and we just want to filter by account, timber sales, and then let's look at, instead of company, let's look at destination. And let's also just filter by tons. Okay, so I have just a few mills or destinations here, and now I can see my average rate per ton that I'm delivering to each of these mills. I can also create a chart for this. Let's do a column chart. That's pretty nice. And now maybe, what if I want to break this down by product? Let's add product to the mix. Okay, so graphic packaging, I got several different products. And now I can see that rate that was averaged is broken down by product now. Now, if you want to, you could also remove the destination so that you're just looking at the product. Let's move this over here. Now this gives you a breakdown of what you're charging, average price for each product. One more thing we'll take a look at is, let's see, we'll go to job status. Let's look at all of our current active jobs. Let's have a look at our trucking rates. Accounts. Let's add the account name on here. Company name. Let's do paid in actual miles. Okay, this gives me a good idea. If I look across, I know that my trucking company, Black Trucking, I have some rates set up for them. I have 6 rates set up paying by the mile at 50 paid miles, and they're getting paid 38 cents a mile. But then I also have 45 rates set up at a mile per ton. That's 5 cents per mile per ton, which equates to average amount of $2.25. We hope you'll spend some time with this report. Give us some feedback if you have any ideas for improvement, and especially if you have any questions, be sure to let us know.